Shemai James on the runway now in this men's long jump final.
And the men's long jump final is a little bit like the triple jump the other night where, you know, we know we're going to pick someone. It's just waiting to see who's going to be that person who gets the victory.
Well, apart from Fabrice, no one in this field actually has jumped over 8 metres legally. Matrevsky has got an 8, but it was windy.
And Matrevsky's been in ripper form, so you'd love to see him hopefully get the conditions right on the runway today and get that first 8 metre jump, because you know he's there or thereabouts and he can do it.
And the qualifying for this final was actually pretty tough. Darcy Roper missed out. Didn't make it through to the final. Obviously, one of the quality athletes in men's long jump. So it's really going to be on here.
7:37 there for Shemai James. It is a bit of a bummer that Darcy misses out on one spot, but Henry Frank couldn't make it to the final. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to move reserves. It's not a thing in IAAF athletics. So
wouldn't it be nice if they did bring that in? Because it's always nice to see a full lane of athletes. And I mean, it's not a big ask. If you're at a major championships and you finish 9th, you'd be happy to go warm up, you know, and be ready.
Exactly.
Do you know, like, and you'd warm up and you'd be the alternate. And I think I love how the American team does that for when they have their trials. They name alternates so that if someone hurts themselves between the trials and the champs, they just call their sub in if he's available.
Well, I say that now. Our system has just updated. Matrevsky 8:01 in the first round, legal.
Oh, that is absolutely fantastic.
So, like you did say, he's in amazing form. He needs that 8:09 to get himself an A qualifier, but 8:01, he's pretty happy with that jump there.
The white flag's gone up, which is good to see.
But he can still be picked if he wins this competition.
Wins with the B.
With the B, he's
automatic nomination.
And you know, he can still be picked because he has the B. It's just if he finishes in the top 2 and he's going to put himself in a ripper position.
That is agonising. 8:09 with the plus 2.1. Wow, 8:09 with a plus 2.1. So the wind, pretty gusty back there.
But he's in shape. And you know what? The selectors are going to see that jump and know that he's got it in him. So what a great effort.
8:09 with a 2.1.
And he's so unassuming. You know, the jumpers, they've all got their flair, like, characters, and they're all really entertaining to watch. But Chris Matrevsky is so unassuming when he's on that runway.
But the thing is, with this, he's already got a B.
Yep.
So that 8:09, in terms of positions in this competition, the win's irrelevant.
Yes.
Oh, he's still winning.
He's got the 8:09, so people actually have to jump the A to beat him.
He currently has a 48 centimetre lead.
Well, and that's a world-class jump. You know, that's a jump that would often get you into major finals these days. So I think he's going to be tough to beat for the rest of this competition. But obviously he does have to watch Fabrice because we know what Fabrice is capable of.
Yeah.
And Fabrice is actually a very good clutch jumper. So even if you get to round 5 and he's only got one more jump left, he's still going to have to wait and see because Fabrice can pull it out in that last jump.
And that's the thing. And if you've ever followed Fabrice's long jump career, sometimes you'll see a series of jumps. It will be foul, 720, foul, 710, and then this last one, 850.
Yeah.
You know, he has the ability to just pull it out when it counts and increase his performance exponentially compared to the rest of his field series. It really is impressive.
Well, watching a jumper, I can imagine if you watched a jumper followed their careers the whole way through, could be quite frustrating because, you know, like, a lot of the times if you're following Fabrice, like you just said, there's times where he's been in the shape of his life and he just hasn't nailed the qualifying. And you know that Fabrice is the kind of guy that if he can just even slip into that final in the 9th, 10th, 11th spot, even when in the final, if he gets those last 3 jumps, he does pull it out later in the rounds and the jumps.
Liam Adcock on the runway now, World University Games rep from last year, silver medalist at the National Champs. He's a 7.90 jumper. First round was 7.58. Currently sitting in 4th position behind Fabrice, who's in 2nd with a 7.61 in his first jump. And Angus Gould, a 7.61 as well, separated by his second attempt of 7.55. And there it is, Liam Adcock now up into 2nd place, 7.68. Kurt Jenner wearing the Westfield Sports High fluoro. Now, Westfield Sports High, pretty handy long jumping pedigree. Fabrice Lapierre, part of that program, and John Thornell, all coming through Westfield Sports High. Probably another couple of athletes. Danny Stevens, Westfield Sports High. Jake Steen, if you follow rugby league, Jamal Idris, Westfields. So, great breeding ground. Jared Hayne, Westfields.
Yep. There's a lot of people come out of there. Michael Clark.
There we go.
And it's interesting. This is I've had this debate with a number of friends about the Westfields High. Now, Jared Hayne is apparently they've rated him the greatest sportsman to come out of Westfield. Now, I don't know. I know we're diving into some other sports here, but I would say Michael Clark is a pretty tough one to go past.
Oh, we could even say Danny Stevens.
A world champion
Yeah.
in a sport that's truly worldwide.
Exactly.
It is a really tough one. It's hard to compare against sports, but I guess they're giving it to Jared because in terms of sports person, he has range across different sports. He could have done a lot of other sports, but
I've heard he was a handy 200-metre hurdler back in the day, but
well, and he's proven the fact that he can jump across sports. You know, he's gone across to America. He's played gridiron. He has hit the track. He's quite a handy sprinter. But I think he would have found that if he tried to do track and field, he wouldn't have been as successful as he has been in the footballs. Because we are on track and field stream, it's a really tough sport, track and field. I don't think people understand a lot of the times just how difficult it is to be world class, especially as a sprinter. You think about when you're little, nearly everyone tries the 100-metre sprint. And so it's easy to say when you watch a footballer that, okay, yeah, they're really fast, but you're comparing them against other footballers. You know, you put a 100-metre sprinter into the national here, even in the heats, these guys can run. You put the guys who got run out in the heat into a football field, they're going to look really fast. So I'm going to have to say the best sports person definitely has to be Danny from Westfields, just because you know what? Track and field's the hardest sport to be successful in.
And we're not biased at all.
Not at all.
Jeremy Andrews, the athlete we just saw then, leaping into third position at the moment, 7.67. He's been jumping in some pretty good form on the runway now. Thomas Solomon went 7.81 in the qualifying. So he's showing some great shape. Yet to get one on the board, foul in the first round. Just not liking that takeoff at the moment. Gave that red flag again. So 2 fouls for Solomon. He'll need to get something out in that last round. With 9 in the field for the final, only 1 won't move onwards.
Looks happy with that one. Grabbed a bit of sand on the way through. Gave it a bit of a chuck. Fist bump with the coach.
Interesting tactic jumping with a hat. I know now they've changed the rules for long jump. They don't need to wear a back number. High jump don't need to wear a back number, and pole vault don't need to wear a front number. But the rule was already on its way to get passed. And you may have noticed the Ivana Spanovic, the Serbian long jumper, lost probably 4 or 5 centimetres and needed those centimetres by her number not having enough pins. Popped, scraped the sand, that's the mark it leaves. So if his hat falls off in the air, they will measure it from where the hat lands. Blessing Okabare lost her weave.
Yep.
Landed in the sand.
Wasn't that that was a bit of an entertaining video.
Measure it from the weave. It's the thing. So
I've never seen anyone lose a weave, get up, pick it up, put it back on so casually before. It's like nothing happened.
Now that leap we did see off Henry Smith, 7.78 with a .02. So, well, 0.2 wind. That's only 4 centimetres off the B qualifier. That's a big jump from Henry. Fairly sure that is a PB. We'll wait and see what Shem James has got up there. 7.73. So now this comp starting to heat up. We've had only 2 illegal wins at the moment, and we've got your leader. He's gone over 8 metres every single attempt. 8.01 in the first. Legal. And 8.09 with a plus 2.1. So we'll see what Matrevsky can do here. See the athletes getting ready. The officials just setting up the hurdles for the 400 hurdle final. That will come not too far away in the program, but we'll see what Matrevsky can do now. All right, just off the back of the board there a little bit, but with 3 more jumps.
Yeah, just going back to Westfield now, they have produced a lot of athletes. Harry Cure was another one that went to Westfield. Now,
Oh, see, now he should be ranked, I reckon, higher, just because.
Definitely.
Don't you think? I mean, he was a great sportsman, but what he achieved with the round ball in a global sport, pretty impressive.
now in 2008, the IOC recognised Westfield Sports High for the amount of Olympians they've produced. They won a sport and youth trophy.
That's
From
pretty
the
impressive.
IOC.
For an Australian school to win, that's pretty impressive.
That's big.
From the International Olympic Committee, that is really big.
Yeah.
It's turned into the Westfield Sports stream.
So if you have any kids and you want them to be sports stars, move.
Now, there is plenty of action happening here on the track. There's a lot of very hot field finals all happening at once. And we'll do our best to try and show them all. The women's high jump really starting to get into those higher heights. The men's pole vault underway. Women's discus out there as well. So it is all happening out here at the moment. And we'll endeavour to cover as much as we can.
And the men's pole vault's going to be an absolute cracker final too, because obviously Curtis Marshall, who'll be off to the World Indoors shortly, he is in ripping form, and he's one to watch in terms of when we talk about the superstars that we've produced in track and field. He's one to watch in terms of winning global medals for the future. You don't want to put pressure on anyone, but he's showing the form that he is going to be a superstar of track and field. But even in that event, we've got 2 B qualified athletes in Angus Armstrong.
And Declan Carruthers as well.
Yep, and Declan Carruthers. And they're really, really close to the A standard as well.
And those boys have been pushing each other for a long time. They're all eligible for the same World Juniors.
Oh, and wasn't that a great under-20 final that they were contesting over there in Perth? Same with the men's 100 runners. They have a fantastic...
that same Australian All Schools.
Yeah.
That final was Curtis Marshall, Angus Armstrong and Declan Carruthers with Rowan Browning, Trey Williams and Jack Hale in the 100. So the fields there, Shemai James was out there. He won the under-18 triple, long and high jump.
That's a fair effort.
Yeah, at the under-18. So the athletes are making their way now, and it's great to see those that were so good at juniors transitioning and deep into the senior ranks.
And something to do with that is the fact that the Home Commonwealth Games has made these athletes see that it's there. They've targeted the sport and they've realised that, okay, look, if I can step up just a little bit earlier than I probably would have, I can make my first senior team in a Home Commonwealth Games. And so it makes athletes lift. You saw it happen in Sydney 2000 Olympics. Athletes that wouldn't have factored into contention who were juniors have ran the senior open nationals so that they could be picked for a home Olympic Games, because there are things that, you probably once in a lifetime. A lot of athletes, there's a few out there that are lucky to be able to say they went to Melbourne and they're going again to these home Commonwealth Games. But
Yeah, definitely.
generally, you're a very fortunate athlete if you get to run in front of a home crowd. So
Well, yeah, Kurt Fearnley said it took him 18 years before he could compete again in a home stadium. So obviously his event wasn't part of the 06 Commonwealth Games.
No.
So he's waited till from Sydney to the Gold Coast.
yeah. And wasn't that just fantastic hearing the passion in his voice that he still had for men's wheelchair racing, that he just wanted to be out there and perform in front of the home crowd?
You can see now Fabrice Lapierre on the runway. And talking about Westfield's only one throwaway in the women's discus is Danny Stevens, so competing at the same time here. Fabrice with the 761 in his first round, past his second. See what we can get out here in his third round attempt. Oh, it's looking good. But unfortunately, a foul for Lapierre. So sitting in 7th place at the